Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Oji.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Excellent. Good morning, Tundu.
Good morning,
Lady
Oji.
in white. Victoria, I love your hair.
Thank you.
You know I always do. How are you?
Thank you. Fine, thanks.
Great. Good morning, Rufai.
Hi, good morning, Audrey. How are you going? How are
Doing
you doing?
well. Doing very well. Thank
Happy
you.
holidays, I should say.
Happy holidays to everyone. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In the United Kingdom, Trafalgar Square lights up as Eid celebrations begin in London and around the world. In the United States, Cecil Lockhart, a 95-year-old man from West Virginia, has become the oldest organ donor in the country's history after he died last week. His liver was donated to a woman in her 60s. And more than 100 Republicans are set to sign a letter today threatening to create a third party if the GOP does not break up with former President Donald Trump. In France, the country's prime minister and the army's chief of staff have condemned an anonymous letter signed by people claiming to be active duty troops after they raised alarm about an impending civil war in the country. In Uganda, reactions trailed Yoweri Museveni's inauguration after the police surrounded the home of his main opposition rival, Bobi Wine, who decried the inauguration as a sham. Museveni has ruled the East African country since he took power as a rebel leader in 1986. In Nigeria, reactions trailed the recovery of over $153 million from the country's former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Dezani Alison Madueke, after the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, made the announcement on Wednesday. Under sports, Argentina's Nadia Podoroska defeated 23-time Grand Slam champion Serena Williams in the second round at the Italian Open on Wednesday, making it the 149th defeat in her 1,000 career WTA matches. Finally, in entertainment, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has revealed its 2021 inductees, celebrating the most diverse list in the history of the organization. Nigeria's Afrobeat legend, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, who came second in the final fans ballot, lost to America's rock and roll legend, Tina Turner, in the performer category.
Congratulations to the class of 2021. I mean, Rufai, a lot of Nigerians are upset because our Fela Anikulapo Kuti didn't make that list. He only needed about a little over 62,000 votes.
You know what they say
Did you vote?
Yeah, I did vote, actually.
Okay.
You know what they say about you keep trying. If you don't get it, we keep try, we try again. I definitely Fela get it. I think because Fela deserves it, really, when you look at it. But congratulations to the queen of rock and roll. She finally made the list.
I love Tina Turner. I love her, yes.
Like, why is she not there already? But congrats to Tina, and definitely we'll keep voting. We'll keep voting.
I know. All right. Let's begin what's trending today in Nigeria. As today marks the beginning of Eid celebrations, leaders across the country have shared prayers and remarks for Nigeria's unity. President Muhammadu Buhari urged Nigerians, irrespective of religious affiliations, to pray against kidnapping and banditry, adding that Nigeria can overcome their problems if they come together and ignore those using religion as a tool of division for their own selfish advantages. The president of Nigeria's Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, came under fire for his remarks as he advised citizens to prepare to make sacrifices for the nation to progress. Well, let's take a tweet for Onwanibe, who wrote, "The citizens have already sacrificed enough. Look at fuel pump price, electricity tariff, and cost of commodities in the market. We need to be objective in our comments and not to be seen playing to the gallery." Tundu, your comment on the story. I mean, I am all for patriotic, means of, making our nation greater. But like he said on Wanigbe, we are bleeding in Nigeria at this point. And it's quite sensitive to make such remarks. What are we going to sacrifice with at this point?
I haven't the foggiest idea. I mean, when I read that, I thought, are you joking? The citizens have sacrificed everything. It's now time for our leaders to sacrifice. Service It's about service, not about power, and they need to start to exemplify that. They sacrifice nothing. Look at the fat salaries. Look at all the benefits without any of the burdens. They are the ones who should be called upon to sacrifice constantly, not the citizens. I mean, I don't know what Nigerians need to sacrifice at this point.
And the prayers for the bandits and kidnappers by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Well, I think this should be put in context.
Yes,
the
sure.
president or other leaders calling for prayers are speaking within the context of Eid al-Fitr.
Yes.
And the fact that this is a religious occasion, when people will leave their homes to mark the end of Ramadan, they will go for prayers. So it's a way of saying that, look, pray for the country as you go to the Eid grounds to pray. So on an occasion like this, I do not think that we should have any issues with anybody saying pray. It's just, you know, in the spirit of the occasion. Now, if the context were different, then, you know, we will have flipped to the other side to say, no, we've prayed enough. Nigeria is the most religious nation in Africa, if not in the world. And that those who are asking us to go and pray, they themselves should do what they've been elected to do and not to cop out, not to blame God for the problems of Nigeria, because most of our problems, all our problems are man-made, you know. So, but the context is very important. The president in his own speech then went further to talk about national unity, the need for us, you know, to focus on solidarity. I also don't have a problem with that. And then he talked about people taking necessary precautions on a festive occasion like this. Of course, people should take non-pharmaceutical precautions. So, you know, if I put it in that context, I don't have an issue. But as for Aliyu Waba, the NLC chairman, who talked about sacrifice, well, I think he also contextualized it. He said the Eid al-Fitr is about love and sacrifice. We have had a month long of fasting that people have had to deny themselves personal sacrifice as a way of getting closer to God. But he defined that sacrifice. He said that sacrifice that will bring all of us Nigerians together to rescue our country from the brink, the precipice into which enemies of the country have pushed
we're all for
the
that.
country. So if that is the way, you know, that's in fact the way he put it. I'm not quoting him directly, I'm paraphrasing him. I also don't have a problem with that, because for you to rescue the country from the enemies that have pushed the country to the brink, then of course that will require some level of commitment, of self-denial again, and of patriotism, because the big battle in Nigeria today is the battle between those who want progress and those who do not want Nigeria to progress, because they benefit from the failures of the country.
All right, Rufai, have Nigerians sacrificed enough?
In fact, our middle name should be sacrificial, because we've always become sacrificial lambs for everything. Bad economy, Nigerians will sacrifice, isn't it? No jobs, Nigerians will be the one to sacrifice. Bad climate, Nigerians will sacrifice. Everything we sacrifice for. I've never heard, because of the current economic situation, lawmakers come out to take a pay cut in this country. I have never heard that we slash the budget for what they spend on food in Aso Rock because other Nigerians can't eat. Sacrifice. We keep sacrificing for everything possible. The question is, when are you, the leadership, the political class, going to say, okay, I have made enough money from Nigeria. Let me start thinking of the people. When are you going to sacrifice for the people? That should be the big question. You see, all those tenets, all those good words, oh, we should come together, we should be one. We all know all of that. We can come together, we can be one. We want to come together, we are together. But the question we keep asking is there sincerity and truthfulness in all of this? So it's easy to use words, rhetorics. But the question is, are you sincere? When you are sincere, we will know you are sincere. We'll come together.
All right. We'll take another story. Reactions have trailed the collapse of the national grid for the second time in a year. On Wednesday, millions of Nigerians experienced darkness after the grid shut down at around 11 a.m. as a result of voltage collapse, according to the Transmission Company of Nigeria. The electricity distribution companies across the nation sent notices to its consumers apologizing for the power outage, while the Transmission Company of Nigeria, in a statement, said they have launched an investigation to the cause of the voltage collapse. While many Nigerians on Twitter have expressed outrage. Let's hit a tweet from Osato, who wrote, "One of the craziest things that have been normalized in Nigeria is how often the national grid collapses. When this happens in other, even developing countries, it is treated as a crisis and postmortems are done and people are held responsible. Here, nobody bats an eyelid. Tundu, this power grid collapsed just in February. A little less than 2 months, right?
Yes, that's why I'm sitting here feeling a sense of deja vu. We've had this conversation
just had this
recently.
conversation when the Minister of Power, Maman Sali, also apologized to Nigerians, hoping that this will not happen again. And here we go, millions of Nigerians in darkness. I don't understand it.
I believe that the minister was commended for that apology.
Yes.
But now, if he issues another apology, there will be no commendation because it's too swift on the heels of the last one.
Yes.
I completely agree with your tweet, and it goes back to your first story. What exactly are we supposed to sacrifice as a nation? This is ridiculous and it's disrespectful. So I do hope that the reforms that have been proposed for that part of the power sector, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, the unbundling, I hope that that goes ahead full steam, because this is completely unacceptable. We just had this conversation.
Well, I mean, nobody should be surprised, and this will not be the end. The grid will still collapse again.
Unbelievable.
So we better start getting used to it.
But why?
If there is nothing
why should
we
we
can
get
do
used
about
to it?
Well, the thing is that the grid that we have in Nigeria is just one national grid. Now, it's only in Nigeria that we have one national grid that the discos and gencos are dependent upon. So we need to decentralize the national grid system. Even then, the one that we have is a very fragile grid. Now, the TCN, Transmission Company of Nigeria, which has a monopoly in managing the grid, has been talking about the need to modernize the national grid. The national grid we have, it doesn't have what they call spinning reserve. That spinning reserve, is supposed to make it, to deepen the capacity, to strengthen the grid, but we don't have it. In 2019, $1.6 billion was earmarked for the upgrading of this same national grid. What has happened to that money? Where is the state of the upgrading? Now, instead of, focusing on the problem, because they know what the problem is, one, they will tell you that it's because of low utilization. Two, they will tell you that the discos are not evacuating. They are doing load shedding. And because of that, there is a problem. Now, so you find transmission company blaming the discos. The discos saying, well, I mean, we shed load because we can't evacuate what is available, for all kinds of reasons. So this is where we are. And I think somebody will focus on that as part of the need to develop infrastructure within the power sector in Nigeria. We all know what the issues are. All the players, they know what the issues are, but nobody has taken any serious step to carry out the reform and the upgrade that is required.
Very well said, Dr. Abati. Rufai, before I come to you, we'll have to go on a short break. And when we return, What's Trending on the Morning Show will continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Morning Show. We're still on What's Trending. A video now making the rounds on social media revealed how hoodlums vandalized a railway track that could lead to a catastrophic accident. Let's take a look.
To come back for this thing.
And even the police there, they will not say police there.
Because they don't even lose all these fast things.
Yeah, I've already lose all this one.
They don't lose all these ones to carry on. This one now don't come out.
Don't come out already.
Because there's nothing holding this one now. This one now don't ready to go.
The first thing not to, is it not possible to rewear them?
Too hard to.
Rufai, what kind of country are we living in? I mean, who will do this to a rail line?
It's an unbearable level of madness. I don't know what it is, Somebody goes out there, cuts rail tracks because they want to go and sell them for bare knuckle price, cheap aluminum and the likes. It's It's just unparalleled level of madness. I can't fathom, I can't imagine the level of madness. And the shocking thing is, it's not only this one. Not only this one. All the railings for bridges, they've cut everything to go and sell. I don't know what level of madness is this. This one is not governments. This is just people. And that's why in building this country, Nigerians too must rise up. I mean, government has made this thing there, albeit with our taxpayers' money for the benefit of everybody. Why do you go cut it off? And in fact, people around there, that this rail line pass through their community, should set up a guard and monitor their community, because they will know the people that are doing this thing. They come out from within them to come cut these things off. We know them now. What level of madness is this?
Unbelievable.
This one is not government now. It's people just being mad.
Unbelievable. Chundun, your reaction to this story?
So, I've been trying to figure out what those sacrifices could be all morning, and this is one. You have to sacrifice your urge to be a vandal and a complete psychopath, willfully destroying public property, and it's against the law of the land. The criminal code actually specifies railway lines. If you are convicted for vandalizing a railway line, it's 21 years imprisonment without the option of a fine. So I hope these people are caught and they are jailed for 21 years.
Absolutely. Well said.
Well, you have the Civil Defense Corps, part of whose responsibility is to protect public property, public infrastructure. But even in spite of that, even in spite of the fact that Nigerians know that if you vandalize public property, it's a crime. They do it routinely. It's not only railway line. If government, for example, decides to put street lights, you will be shocked. Overnight, they will have removed the bulbs.
But why?
I've seen people before, throwing stones at street lights just to destroy the street lights. They are not going to achieve anything from it. Okay, maybe this iron, they use it to go and, manufacture other things, spoon and whatever. So this is the thing about citizenship. Citizenship is about responsibility. But you have many citizens here who, out of frustration, do not want to be responsible citizens. And that's why the law has to be enforced whenever such persons are caught. But people just carry on with impunity because they always believe that they can get away with it. So there's a lot of sadism, there's a lot of frustration out there, there's a lot of criminality, which cannot be justified on the grounds that it's because of poverty. There are poor people in other places too, in other parts of the world. They do not misbehave like this. And there is no difference between that man stealing rail bars and the man stealing crude oil.
Correct.
There is no difference. Or the man, doing some other damage to the country in whatever way. But you see, we have this trust deficit. We have citizens who do not like their country and who have to be forced to understand what is called the public good, because the public good is for the benefit of all. But persons, from a selfish perspective, they will steal anything they can lay their hands on. Even people steal stationery from government offices or even in private companies.
All right, let's take our final story.
You have not seen people stealing stationery?
No. Well, popular Nollywood actor Yomi Fabiyi took to the streets of Lagos on Wednesday, as seen in a video now circulating on social media, to demand for the immediate release of actor Olanrewaju Omiyinka, popularly known as Baba Ijesa, who he claims has been illegally detained by the police. Well, let's take a look at that video before we come back for a discussion.
It is over. We don't want it again in our country. Where any police officer will be holding citizens against their rights, will be incarcerating them against their rights, will be holding them against their rights. It is evil, it is criminal, it is why oppression continues in this country. It can be done to your son, it can be done to your father, it can be done to your brother, it can be done to your friend. Police officers should not hold anybody against their rights, should not incarcerate against what the law says, should honor bail conditions, should honor bailable offenses. It is not up to the society.
Human rights violation. I mean, this actor, I thought he was an actor. I don't know when he became an activist. Well, he was saying that it could happen to your son, your father, and all of that. The police is within their rights. They know what they're doing. It is a public story. So I don't understand what he's doing out there at this point?
I sincerely doubt that the police will hold him if it is a bailable offense. He's clearly been charged with an offense that is not bailable. They exist. Very serious offenses like rape, armed robbery, murder are not bailable. So he might actually want to go back and check and make sure that he's actually been charged with a bailable offense before launching into this kind of protest. And you described him as a popular actor. Of all the ways to use one's popularity and one's platform, this is how he wants to don a cape to defend the most heinous of crimes, sexual offenses against children. That is what he wants to use his popularity to defend.
Remember how shocked you were when you found out that people were supporting
I couldn't
that
believe
actor.
it, because clearly, why would anybody? And, you told me, yes. He's jumping on a soapbox, talking about what if it was your brother, whatever. What if that young girl who was violated was his child? I'm just completely, again, baffled by the way people behave and the way people reason.
Well, about Ijesa's case, that's the man at the center of the storm, Olanrewaju Omiyinka. His case was referred to the DPP, the Directorate of Public Prosecution, for advice. And that advice, we were told, had been given. And I think the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice for Lagos State, Muyosore Onibanjo, SAN, has been quoted as saying, prima facie case has been established against Baba Ijesa. And a 5-count charge, under one indecent treatment of a child, sexual assault by penetration, which is rape, simplicity, attempted assault, right? Assault itself, right? And these are very serious charges, running from the smallest one is from 3 years to life imprisonment. The first two are life imprisonment. The second and third are life imprisonment cases. So, and the Attorney General, at the time that statement was made, promised that he would be charged to court expeditiously. He was arrested on April 30. Under the ACJ, Administration of Criminal Justice Act, under remand time limit, I think it's Section 9 of that law. That law is a 2015 law. You can be remanded for 14 days in the first instance. If you are to be further remanded, they have to get court approval to go back to court, right? So those are the conditions. But in this particular case, we really do not even know. The state may decide to keep you if they think that you will become a worse threat. If they release you now, you go about raping people.
It's like he's a pedophile. I mean, why would they want to?
For your own safety, if you are released and your life could be in danger, or you could run away and jump bail. So there are conditions that the DPP and the Attorney General's office will have considered. However, there is another leg to this. Yomi Fabiyi has been sued by Iyabo Ojo for defamation because during that protest, they were accusing Iyabo Ojo and others of certain things. But I do not want to repeat the offense because it's already a matter between their lawyers.
Right. Okay. We only have 30 seconds. A quick comment from you.
When you look at it critically, Oji, you wonder if some people really have cerebral malaria in this country. Honestly. Cerebral malaria.
All right.
Okay, on that note,
thank
Oji,
you so much for
thank you very much.
Thank you, Tunju. Thank you, Dr. Abati. See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.